93 WIBC, Rob Kendall.
Brian Baker, we are the C team, not the A team, not the B team, but the C team. And Rob, I'm so very excited about something that transpired last night. But please go ahead and do share with the fine listener what is coming up here in just a few moments.
Wait, first, can I guess what you're excited about?
Yes.
You don't have to work with Tony Katz anymore?
This is, okay, so that's the icing on the cake, but I'm talking about the whole of the cake. Would you like to know what that is? Yeah,
okay. Yeah. Well, you could actually hear Brian Baker yesterday, first day he didn't have to work with Tony anymore, shouting as he was running down the hallway, I'm free! I'm free!
Freedom! Actually posted that Braveheart clip, and nobody seemed to get what I was talking about, but I knew, and that was enough for me.
Yeah, oh, never mind. I'll just leave it at that. Coming up in just a moment, you'll hear the best of today on WIBC, including, so much Tony Katz.
Yes.
Chicks on the Right, Hammer and Nigel.
And more.
And more.
And more of Tony Katz coming up here, because I understand he's now got 3 hours in the afternoon that you can stream online or download. So,
and why wouldn't you want that?
Yeah, so you got, listen, you got your 6 hours of Tony Katz, and you got your 9 minutes of Rob and Brian. So there's balance in your life, right? You know?
Brian,
yes.
Have you heard about what has come out about McDonald's? Have you heard about this?
Yes. Somebody, this was quite the conspiracy. Now, I used to play, it's all about this Monopoly game, right? Somebody was ripping off the Monopoly game?
Right. If you're not aware, McDonald's every so often comes out with it's very popular when they do it. It's called the Monopoly game, and basically on the back of a French fry or a soda,
right,
there's Monopoly pieces.
Which I can never get off, by the way. I have to, call somebody to scrape them off because I don't have any nails. And, and then, the whole thing pulls off, and I don't know how to play Monopoly anyway.
Yeah, it's a very addictive thing. You collect all the pieces from whether it's Boardwalk and Park Place, that's the big one, or the railroads,
right,
or Illinois Avenue. Although the colors collectively, you win big prizes.
Right.
And
win big.
There's also instant win, where you could instantly win monies.
And
an article has come out about how for a very long time the game was basically rigged, and the guy in charge of it was a mobster and sold the pieces.
Now, see, here's the deal. My understanding is that my chances of winning are slightly better than me actually locating a unicorn and winning the lottery on the same day, right?
Well,
and getting struck by lightning on that same day. And I don't know. Yeah. The odds are not real good, but apparently this gentleman seemed to be connected to a lot of folks that were winning big-time prizes.
Yeah. The dude was actually the security guy. Like, he was in charge of ensuring the game was on the up and up.
Right.
Except some people weren't doing their job in making sure he was on the up and up, and therefore he was basically, for a percentage, what they call this?
Now, did he take a reasonable cut,
Well, I mean, it was a fair amount.
Okay, what, like 40%?
Well, in some cases. It kind of depended. He was basically saying, let's make a deal.
Okay, all right. So, he'd say, hey, listen, I'll give you this number of dollars here. Mm-hmm. Was he getting more than the people that would win?
No.
Oh, okay, all right.
No, he was being reasonable.
So he was a criminal, but he was a reasonable guy.
Yeah, like one of the places, though, it was interesting to read this article about this guy, because one of the places was like, he knew a bunch of people in Jacksonville, Florida.
Right.
So, 10 people were winning huge prizes out of the Jacksonville area. Nobody's going to pay attention to that.
No, not at all. And it was all several of them all in the same family, right? All connected?
Yeah, and so basically what he would do is he would go to, in one case, I think it was his butcher, and be like, okay, Mr. Butcher, you're going to win $40,000. I'm just making up numbers here.
Right.
In return, there'll be an envelope of $20,000 stuffed with cash to me in advance. People would pay it. Then he started getting burned, which is interesting. The butcher, ironically.
Which is always great, because, if there's one type of a person that you want to burn, it's definitely a gangster.
Yeah. So just a fascinating tale about how a game that was impossible to win anyway was made even more impossible because the guy wasn't on the up and up.
But here's the thing. This isn't the first time this has happened, right? Because I remember a few years ago there was another ripoff that occurred, and they found out that people were getting screwed on this. So, Rob, what happened there?
No, nothing.
Okay.
You're good. You're good. Keep going.
I saw something stop, and I got all.
No, you're fine.
All right, I got scared. I felt very disillusioned, and I couldn't go back to McDonald's for a while because I was so brokenhearted. Can we talk about McDonald's for a moment too, as long as we're on the subject here? I'm extremely upset now that I have a daughter. One of the things that it was a precious childhood memory for me going to McDonald's. I enjoyed McDonald's, and I liked Ronald McDonald the Clown and the fat guy. What's his name? Grimace.
Yeah, Grimace.
Yeah, and the Hamburglar. You know? Yeah, and then you liberal progressive tight asses screwed all that up for me, and now my daughter is never going to get to have that experience because we have so many lousy, worthless parents out there that can't control their kids, and they think it's McDonald's job to provide nutrition for their kids instead of just cooking at home, going to the grocery and doing a packed lunch. And so now, all of these things that I enjoyed, even Happy Meals now, when you get a Happy Meal, you have to ask for fries if you want the Happy Meal fries because they put in yogurt.
Oh.
Now, granted, the yogurt has more sugar in it than a pixie stick. Thank God they still do the prizes or the
right.
toys, but I'm sure that'll be going away. You know, it makes me sick. Why do you have to screw with everything, liberals? Everything that is good and decent and wonderful about America, you come along and screw it up.
Hey, by the way, before we move on, the actual expose is in the Daily Beast. If you want to read this thing, I highly suggest. It will take you a while to get through it. It is totally worth it. You will be completely floored about what this guy did. Jerome Jacobson was the guy's name. And listen to the
former cop too, right?
Yeah. Listen to the description of this. Jerome Jacobson and his network of mobsters, psychics, strip club owners, and drug traffickers won almost every prize for 12 years until the FBI launched Operation Final Answer. So there you go. If you didn't win in the 80s or 90s on the McDonald's game, that's why.
Well, now we know why the FBI, they weren't keeping track of some other things that they should have had their eyes on because, they were just they were neck deep in Monopoly shenanigans. So
real quick, I got to give kudos to you.
Oh, thank you.
Like,
what did I do?
La Raza Pizza.
Oh, La Rosa's
La Rosa
Pizza.
Pizza. Sorry.
Spoken by someone who's never been to a La Rosa's. Yes, La Rosa's Pizza. Go ahead.
They were tweeting at you yesterday.
Tweeting at me. I'm so excited. You have no idea. Like, I love when I get any tweets because I have like 3 followers. But, yeah.
By the way, I'm at Rob M. Kendall on Twitter. You're at Naptown Bride.
Yes. And, the fine people of La Rosa's, we were talking about how my wife went like 2 hours out of her way to get me a La Rosa's Pizza.
Because it reminded you of Kings Island as a kid?
Yes, and because it is phenomenal pizza. I mean, if I could inject their sauce into my veins, I would do it. And apparently, somebody was backing me up saying, it's not unheard of to drive 2 hours out of the way to go get a pizza from La Rosa's. It's that good. And La Rosa's somehow or another caught on and wrote back. And, we were exchanging notes. They said I was very sweet.
Because they don't know you.
Yeah, clearly. And but I said, I'd consider quitting radio to manage the La Rosa's Pizza. Why not? I'm sure a lot of I would be, here's the thing. I would be enormous, Rob, because inside of me, there is a fat guy dying to get out.
You're very skinny.
Well, yeah, but let me tell you, man, I mean, that's because, I'm bulimic.
Yeah.
And, no.
It is interesting, though, you mentioned what you'd be doing if you weren't in radio, and it is fascinating to see the tragic trail of tears that so many ex-radio people end up with, either at used car lots or managing pizza joints. I mean, people think this is a glamorous lifestyle. No, it's really a mix of depressed, anxiety-ridden, very tragic individuals, of which we are 2 of them.
Yeah, you know that your time is coming eventually. We have a saying in the building, which is that no one ever leaves the way they want.
Now... Yeah, you always go on a Friday and never by your own choice.
Yeah.
Real quick, Brian, I do have to mention, I don't know if you know this, but I am currently on a quest.
Oh! What is this, like a scavenger hunt?
Well, I was nominated for Best Radio Personality in Indianapolis.
Thank you very much. Congratulations, Rob Kendall. You are on a quest, and you're up against one of our own local personalities.
Yeah, my quest is not to win. It was by Indy Star.
Yes.
I was nominated. I have no idea how. But my quest is not to win.
Yes.
My quest is to beat Tony Katz. I don't care about winning. I care about getting more votes than Tony Katz. So if I beat Tony Katz, I've decided I'm throwing a pizza party.
I love this. La Rosa's Pizza?
Well, we'll see.
All right. Well,
I'm not rich. I'm an anxiety-ridden, depressed radio personality.
Right. Well, listen. I happen to be very close to the people at La Rosa's as of the last 24 hours, so I'll see if I can get us a deal. I'd be for this, man.
So I have the link pinned up on Twitter at Rob M. Kendall. If you would go vote for me, if we can beat Tony Katz, we'll have a pizza party of some sort, and we can bask in the glory of beating Tony Katz.
And here's the great thing: Tony doesn't eat bread, so no pizza for him.
I'm Rob Kendall. He's Brian Baker. It's time for the mashup, which starts right now.
93
WIBC.
Whoopity-doo-dah.